little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. All she want is time, all she want is time. Look me in my eyes, call me on my life. Lock the city down till the summertime. Time to slice these niggas up some humble pie. Caravan of fours, let my youngin' drive. Elevate my game for the 100th time. You can hold me down through these troubled times. Or be another victim to my stubborn pride. Hold me down through these troubled times. Be another victim to my stubborn pride. Stuck in the grind. Stuck in the grind, I'm stuck in the grind. Look me in my eyes, call me on my lies. I'm stuck in this grind, I'm stuck in this grind. Middle of the night, kitchen lights is on. Roll me up a back, then I light the stove. Taught to stay calm when the crisis on. Say I die alone, I set my life upon. High power hustle, speaking hyperbole. Translation, get the money, never wife a hoe. Clip is full already, now it's time to go. Show the four already, where these stripes should go. Crash got opinions, how my life should go. I'm screaming, fuck them, they can suck it, they can die tonight, you know. Bullets, rain on them, cut the life support. My section ride for sport, every night of course. Niggas dying every day, that's the price of war. Gang members spending thousands at the nicest stores. Levitate on 5-star luxury. Every time I ride, shit come for me. Stuck in the grind. Stuck in the grind, I'm stuck in the grind. Look me in my eyes, call me on my lies. I'm stuck in this grind, I'm stuck in this grind. Let's make a movie, take the top off. About to cross over like hot sauce. On this gutter shit, I never hopped off. Most calculated move by far. Always with a model in a fly car. 30,000 for the python. Rockin' knee highs, drinking white wine. Listening to in my lifetime. In the nighttime.
A few people, how y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling?
Took the little bitch to Popeye. She was top 5. Excitement that she get from
Definitely a great interview we are about to have. So tune in, stick around. Hope everybody's day is 100. So we got a special guest today.
Love me like we from a small town. Let's make them all around. You splurge, I splurge. We ball later and we ball now. Stuck in the grind.
I'm stuck in the grind.
Look me in my eyes. Hold me on my lies. I'm stuck in this grind, I'm stuck in this grind. Ain't no going back once the lights on you.
Hope everybody's energy is 100 today. Jen, what's going on? That's the sis right there, family out in Texas. That's Ron, I see you on there, Ron. Ron is out in Texas. Come on, man, let's go.
Stuck in the grind. Stuck in the grind, I'm stuck in the grind. Look me in my eyes, call me on my lies. I'm stuck in this grind, I'm stuck in this grind. Yeah. December 1st, 2017.
Special guest today.
All money in.
Definitely for our people, back to my roots.
Y'all die.
You know what I mean? I know him personally.
Yeah.
That's my brother. You know what I mean? But at the same time, let's get to know him, guys. Let's get to know him, right? Unable to son, what's that about? They always trying to stop greatness. They are always trying to stop greatness. But guess what? We ain't gonna let it happen. We ain't gonna let it happen. There you go. There you go.
Yo, bro. It was goody, gang.
King Lee,
I'm in the building, man. I'm good. I'm sorry for the late pull up, my people. I apologize, man. I'm trying to do a lot at once. But you know how to get in, tap in with my young big bro, Mugga. You already know, man. Kid with the glasses. Proud of you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir, bro. Listen, man. That was professional, real professional to even apologize to the people, man. That's 100. But you wasn't late, bro. You was right on time, you know what I mean? And
right.
Let me give you the proper introduction, right? This is my guy, right, that I seen grow up. He actually is one of the people that I seen growing up that I actually took a liking to, right? Because we both had the glasses, you know what I mean? My guy played ball, you know what I mean? He was very influential in the hood. And not only that, you know what I mean? He's very influential now to the hood, right? He's giving back. I'm talking about he's giving back to the homeless from time to time. You guys got to tap into his Instagram, follow what he's doing. Giving back to the community, turkey drives, Christmas drives. I'm talking about a real connoisseur, right? This guy is really doing it and not just talking about it, but really out here doing it, right? T, let the people know about you, man.
Yeah, man. Like Mugga said, first of all, follow me on IG. Back to my roots. You can see it here. If you know, BACK.
Click
The
the
number
top link.
2.
Yes, sir. Y'all can get it.
Right, my roots. Also, you can follow my. We in the middle of actually doing under the 501c3 non-for-profit for the New York Community Justice Advocacy and Alliance. That's what we do a lot of our give backs through that entity. You can follow that as well. I'm gonna drop all that at the end anyway. You know, I'll put in the story. I'll tag everybody. Well, I'll send Mugga. I'll send it to Mugga. He can put in his story as well.
Yes.
Also, I got back to my roots, bear products and breads. I do a lot, man. I do a lot. So you can follow those pages. But yeah, like Mugga said, man, it's just I want to say that coming from where we come from, growing up how we grow up, it's just to us. The hood, that shit is regular. Like, that's nothing, you know what I mean? It's like, it's supposed to be like that. That's what, at least that's what I thought until I hit a certain age and I started seeing shit for what it was. And I want to say I probably started noticing things maybe around 17, 18. Like, I started understanding, like, okay, this shit ain't normal. Like, society's hood rules is not conducive to our progression as a people. Like, it's just, a lot of shit started clicking for me. But again, I was in school. I was still chasing that ball. Another thing that I, now in hindsight, like, that shit is a setup as well, the way we go about it. And, I want to say, like, we use the word woke a lot, but I want to say that I guess I became enlightened, so to speak, around, like, I want to say, like, 21, 22, because I read a book. I was watching Love and Hip Hop. I used to indulge in all that bullshit, too. I was watching Love and Hip Hop, and it was the episode, I'll never forget it, the episode where Stevie J was like, get on the bus, that shit, whatever. And in between this time, I started reading a book. The first book I picked up where it had me, like, thinking. It was called The Peculiar Institution of Slavery. And basically that book just talked about how slavery equates to just economics. Like, it started out as just economics, not even so much color or race. It was strictly economics for profit. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what made me dive into my studies. And I realized that while reading books, right, like when you're reading something, you'll come across something that you come across a passage or maybe some more information that makes you want to research that. So while I'm reading this book, I'm taking notes on things I want to research that I read in that book, which led me to other books to read, right? So, and that's how this shit started for me, and I just started diving into reading, right? So, like, I want to say that I gained a lot of knowledge throughout the years through experience, this, reading and applying things, and like I said, so I could say 21 I was enlightened or woke, but when I say now, I'm in tune. In tune requires you to take everything that you learn and apply it now with action. So when you hear me say get in tune, it's like, yeah, all the information you gathered, now it's time to apply that shit. And for me, I started applying it around 30, and that's hence the give backs and doing things and planning for the future, trying to, create opportunities to generate generational wealth. There's getting information out there to my people. Like, I want to do things for my family, my immediate family, of course, but I can do that and still share with the people at the same time. I feel like that's important. A lot of times we get a hold of information and we keep it to ourselves, or we just take care of our families. Like, if we want to make progression, we want to make great progress as a people, as a whole entity, it has to be a bunch of us at once. And it doesn't have to be just me doing it for myself. I can share information as I go. I can bring people on with me as I'm doing things. And that's just my goal, man. That's just my goal. And like, I love what you're doing as far as the read, remember, repeat, because that's imperative, man. A lot of times, including myself, when I first started getting back into reading, like, it's one thing to read, right? But it's nothing to read and comprehend what you're reading. A lot of times, from the time we were kids, when we learn it, see, let me get into it. Black and brown folks, we're not good learners, right? So when I say we have to relearn how to actually learn, right? The basic, anything that you do, whether you're trying to do math, science, anything, is reading first. And you can read all day, but if you're not comprehending what you're reading, when it's time to apply shit, you can't, because you don't understand what the fuck you read.
Yes.
Like, and I realized that when I started reading that book, The Peculiar Institution of Slavery. I read that book twice because I was reading it. The words, I can read the words, I can pronounce this shit and everything, but the information wasn't retaining because, again, I had to relearn, teach myself how to learn. And that's by being a scholar. So as I'm reading, I'm taking notes. Like, you know what I mean? And that shit is key, man. Like, it's super key that we learn how to actually, like I said, learn and research things and retain knowledge instead of just reading shit to read it.
Yes,
you know what I mean? A lot of times we do that unbeknownst to us. And when you do that, you'll retain just a little bit of information that you read in a thick-ass book.
Yes.
So I think it's important that we get back to the basis of reading comprehension, comprehending, understanding what you're reading.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So for me, that was key. Once I started to comprehend the shit, then I was able to apply things because I comprehended it very well. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that was, for me, was the basis of, like, how my trajectory is, what it's, like, the trajectory on the path that I am now, that's, you know, it came from just tapping back into reading and really, you know what I'm saying, understanding, like really learning about us as a people, where we come from, like shit that they don't teach in school, you know what I mean, like going against the status quo, society's norms. Like, to me, society's norms is not set up for us as a people. Like, it's not. Like, I understand that the education that we get growing up in the hood is meant for us just to be workers or go to jail. Like, that's really what it is. Like, and that's just the reality. It's not me being sarcastic. It's not me just talking shit. The reality is this. And that's like, I'm just talking about from New York. And I mean, that's across the United States. But being that I live in New York and I went to both public and Catholic schools, it's set up for us as we're not even minority, set up for black and brown people to just be workers, to sustain capitalism. Whether you work in a middle class job or your ass is in jail, generating more capital. And that's just what it is. They don't teach us about ownership. They don't teach us about finances, annuities, equity, shit that's important, shit that's conducive to you not having to work your whole life and build or sustain other people's wealth. You know what I'm saying? I know, myself included, I know a million people that got masters and PhDs, and they might have a car, a nice car, they may have a house, but they still live in check to check. Why? Because we wasn't set up. The way we went to school, like I said, us is let's go to school. Let me get a degree, and then our answer to making more money is taking out loans to get another degree, taking out loans, get another degree. Before you know, you might have a PhD, and shit, you might be making $150,000, but you have loans that amount to like a $750,000. That shit don't add up. Like, so again, it's just about more than just school. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's way more to it than getting that piece of paper. Like, shit, you don't even, the millionaires of the world don't even have that shit. They don't have that. They know that that shit is not really it. Unless you go into school for free, it's not it. Because what do you accumulate all that debt for when 9 times out of 10, when you graduate with that piece of paper, you're not getting into that field that you actually went to school for. And if you do, you're not making top dollar. And even if you are making top dollar, you're not making the same as your white counterparts. So if you have loans worth $80,000 and then you come out, let's say if you make it $80,000, you still broke. You still broke, bro. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just about gathering information and at an early age. My target audience is always everybody, but I'm trying to get the babies now and their parents so they can teach them. I can equip the parents and the kids at the same time to, you know, to properly I can equip them, you know, I can properly equip the parents and the students and the young youth at the same time with all information and the resources necessary for them to, you know, get into early as far as how can they make their situation better, right? And like for me, it's not always us as a people. We like to, you know, we don't have our equity. And Dr. Claude Anderson, I feel like, I mean, everybody should know who Dr. Claude Anderson. That's just one person as far as economics go, black economics go. I think we should tap in. He has a bunch of books. Black Labor, White Wealth. It's a bunch. You got a trilogy set. It's like 100 some change, but that right there should be your Bible. If you're trying to learn about economics and learning how we can get back our control as a people and et cetera, Dr. Claude Anderson, that's my guy. I learned a lot from just reading his books, but he said it best. The thing with black people, and I'm talking to us specifically, we don't have an origin country, right? Most people from other ethnicities, whether you're Puerto Rican, Dominican, whatever, Italian, Irish, Ecuadorian, whatever, they have an origin country. And in that origin country, right, they have natural resources, right? So they have natural resources in the origin country, meaning they can come here with a line of credit or whatever from their country and come up here and set up shop with whatever they're doing, whether they have a fruit stand or they have a Chinese restaurant, Aki got a bodega. They come with lines of credit from their country, and then they come here and they get, you know, a little small business, a lot of shit that we're not privy to. And again, because they can always get sent back to their countries, number one. Number two, they're coming from countries where they have natural resources. We don't have that. Our only natural resources is sweat equity, and that's singing and dancing, rapping, and playing ball and shooting hoops, and that's what we dominate. But we dominate that shit that we don't even own it. So again, like that's why I'm trying to change the narrative. Is like use the sports as a one-up, use that shit as a tool, but learn the other side of it. We need more owners. You know what I mean? That's what we need. You can play ball and all that for fun, but the reality is everybody's not going pro. You know what I mean? We sell the kids on. Again, like, you know, you sell them on rap and ball players. They made that shit like one thing, and now, you know, what is it? The message being shown is, you know, you play ball, you rap, you know, you fly, you got the car, you got the girls, the clothes, all that shit that come with it, and that's what we attracted to. You know what I mean? And that's just being real, including myself. I just learned as I went older, like, that shit don't matter. It's not what it is. It's cool. Again, I'm not knocking anybody, but to use it as a tool, we need more ownership. We need more ownership. It makes no sense that that's our natural resource, and we dominate that field, football, you know know what I mean, basketball, shit, even baseball starting to be different. Like, you know what I mean? We dominate these sports. The Olympics, we starting to dominate that, but we don't have no ownership in any of this shit. Meaning, no ownership, no control. We can't make policy decisions and procedures. Like, we can't change policies and procedures. And that's where a lot of prejudice and race and, you know, prejudices and racist actions come through policy and procedures. But we don't make those policy and procedures. You understand? We're not even concerned with that shit. We concerned with shooting the three, having the clout. We love clout. That's what I was trying to. We so in love with clout that all that other shit we don't even pay attention to. These owners don't give a fuck about clout. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about that. Yo, they suits is 10 G's. You would never know, though. That's what they spend money on. You understand? Like, they don't care about clout. They laughing. LeBron making $500 million. How much think they making? How much do you really think they making, bro? Like,
he making, you know,
if he make so my thing is like I'm just trying to get the youth to understand like you use this shit as a tool. You don't gotta go Division I. You don't gotta you need the goal is go to school for free. I stress that shit all the time. School for free. That's the one up. Because at least if you go to school for free and you do have the degree, it's a fallback. You can always get a job if necessary. And again, you know how I feel. Jobs are stepping stones to ownership. We gotta stop getting into this mindset. It's like we gonna work and get
for 40
a
years.
For 40 years. All that shit is cool. I'm not knocking it, but if you're going to do that, because I work, but my plan is not to work forever, and while I'm working, I'm building up my 401k, you know what I'm saying? I'm building up other shit, annuity, I'm making money moves. You know what I mean? I'll get into that a little later, but I'm making money moves where now my money is being, so for example, I'm going to just say it, like, I paid off the rest of my parents' mortgage for 10% equity in the home, so when they sell it, I'm going to get none of y'all business, but I'm going to come off nice, and then we can owe my parents to match what they got to have to give me so we can go in and buy some more land. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. You understand? What's a lawsuit? Took that lawsuit money, listen, told my parents, they wasn't even, first of all, when I told my parents, you know, again, that's what, going back to just our parents, our grandparents, and their old way of thinking, they was looking like I was crazy, like, what? Like, I'm like, you think I'm trying to scam you? I'm your son. I would never do nothing like that, number one. Number two, that's what white folks do all the time.
It's the lack of understanding, that's all.
Lack of understanding, bro. You understand? I'm like, yo, white folks do it all the time. They kids are already on the deed without having to give any money. You know, but none of that shit, they're already on the deed because they understand. Like, all right, we got to leave this for they leaving that for the family, keeping the wealth within the family. Yes. So I'm going to put my kid's name on this deed. This shit is automatically going to them. So, you know, having a conversation with my parents and shit, at first they're like, what? I'm like, listen, y'all should have all of us on this shit anyway. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that I'm being responsible. I'm coming to you. Listen, this is my lawsuit money. I'm going to pay the rest of this shit off. All y'all got to pay is taxes. So all the money y'all making is y'all money. Like, when y'all sell this shit, when my brothers finish school and they both graduate, you know what I mean? Later on, that might be, I'm not going to see that money for about 5, 6 years, and that's okay. Because I know, you know what I mean? That's okay. That's equity right there. I have money.
Right now,
I know I'm good. You know what I mean? God forbid something happen to me, that money's going to go to my brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and that's something I can set them up. If they do right, that's why I teach them right. If they do right with that, they'll be set with their families. You know what I mean? So that's the important part. On the flip side of that, a lot of times we so fucked up, and I don't mean we fucked up as a people. I mean like we don't understand shit that some people do that, and what we do, we sell grandma's house. You hear that saying all the time, like, don't sell grandma's house, because fuck that. Like, don't sell grandma's house. Like, it's about that, especially because a lot of times when they say that, grandma's house, she owns that plot and that house. Further, like, you know, the old, not all, but a lot do. And we don't know that, so when we sell that shit, we don't realize what we're giving up when we sell that. And then the money might sound great, but it's more equity in that home than the money they're trying to give you. And again, that goes back to just us understanding how this works. You know what I mean? Understanding America is understanding capitalism. If you understand capitalism, then you understand, like I always say, if you follow me, prisons, sick people, meaning hospitals and pharmaceuticals, and war, that shit is all an economy. That shit all involves monetary value as far as, like, how capitalism will be able to sustain. Like, capitalism doesn't sustain if you don't have niggas going to jail, getting sick, taking medicines, or America going to war. All that shit keeps capitalism thriving, and that's just what it is. So I tell people all the time, it's like understanding. If you understand that, then you're less likely to want to commit crimes, even if you're in a fucking situation. If you understand this is the system is not rigged. It is that way for a reason. Like that. So forget about that shit. We got to check. No. That shit is that way for a reason. Like, that's what it is. Capitalism is the real thing. So they don't want no world peace, and I want to heal all the sick people in the world. It's a fucking lie. You know how much money they make a year with chemotherapy alone? Fuck everything else with this chemo. So, again, it goes back to just understanding. If we read, right, read and then comprehend, relearn how to learn, which is important, and it's a lot. I want to also start, like, doing seminars about learning how to learn again, learning how to relearn. Because, like I said, that shit is important. It's super important because, like I said, if we can do that, then we start understanding things a little better. Along with comprehending and reading comes with black men being able to communicate. We don't communicate well at all. So being that we can communicate, we can't even express our feelings, bro. You know, we can't even properly adequately express how we're feeling amongst each other because, one, we don't communicate well, and two, if you're
That's
not
a
reading,
problem.
you know what I mean?
That's a big
That
problem.
shit, big problem, bro. That shit all coincides, bro. And I'm
It
guilty of
does.
it. I
Like
never
even
front.
knowing how to talk, like even knowing how to
Exactly,
talk
bro.
without aggression, you know
Without
what I mean, is
aggression.
a problem. Yeah.
It's a problem because where we come from, right? We always feel like we got to be on edge, including, bro, I never front. I'm a work in progress, bro. I still find times, I find fault in things that I do, but I take accountability for the shit. A lot of times, we don't like taking accountability, bro, for shit that we do. I know when I'm wrong in certain situations, and I may not be wrong in its entirety, but if I did one thing wrong or there's
Yeah,
one thing I
yeah,
could
yeah.
change, I'm
That's
going to
enough
acknowledge
to
that. I'm going to acknowledge
apologize
that. Like, you know
for.
what? I
Yeah,
fucked up. I'm not
yeah.
apologizing for, I'm not sorry because I consciously said that, but I apologize because I shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? That's my thing. Sorry is when there was no, you're only sorry if there was no intention behind what you did or said. Apologize is acknowledging what you did because it was calculated. You
Right,
understand?
right.
So a lot of times when we're doing shit, it is calculated. Your response, you might be talking out the
But
tongue, but it's
sometimes
calculated.
it's unconscious too.
Absolutely. But when it's unconscious, then you got to be sorry because it wasn't calculated. And that's
Yeah,
my thing. You
because
got to,
a lot of shit is hardwired, bro. We
right,
hardwired from the years of things that's been happening and the
right,
survival. A lot of us are on survival instead of living.
right. Absolutely. That's a fact, bro. And that's key. You on survival instead of living. And again, that shit goes back to like, bro, America always got a 40-year plan. We always gonna be 40 years behind. Talk about black folks, but we always 40 years behind shit. Always. So every time we make 10 steps forward, they send us 40 years back, yo. Like, hence the crack era. Like, that shit fucked us up terribly. To this day, you see it. And I mean, like, as far as babies having babies, kids having kids. You know, I come from the foster care system, meaning, like, I worked ACS. I did that. I wasn't doing removals. So ACS, CPS, whatever, like, they're the ones who do removals. Then once they remove the kids, they put them in foster care agencies. The foster care agency job is to either reunite the kids back to their family, terminate the parents' right, or the kids are going to age out of foster care. So I was doing that part, trying to do reunifications. That part, the more important part of, you know, being in the system, trying to if I feel like it's necessary for the parents and the kids to reunite, then that's what it is. But the judge has the final say in this shit. But again, even that system is flawed, bro. It's bullshit. I had to get out of that shit. I was doing that shit for 10 years. I was arguing. Yo, listen, like, every kid that I ever had, they love me, like, because I'm genuine. You already know, bro. I'm real. It's about them. I teach them how to get more out the system than the system will ever get out of them. And that's going across the board, whether they playing basketball, because that's a system, anything, bro. You get more out of that shit than it gets out of you. You understand? That's why I try to teach the kids, like, listen, man, there's ways. It's a fucked up situation, but there's ways where you can monetize and maximize being in this predicament. You know what I mean? Like, going to school for free. It's a lot of fun, a lot of grants, a lot of things, bro. But again, it's hard for them to hear that when you're coming from trauma. We born with trauma. PTSD, from our great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, bro. That slavery shit is real. It's not for fake, bro. PTSD is a real thing. That shit is passed down through semen and egg, bro. Trauma is a real thing. Besides the trauma we have from generation trauma from just our immediate family, the traumas we experience when we walk out our building in our hood. And like I said, that trauma to us is just regular. That's regular shit. Like, oh, nah, this is regular. And it's like the moment I realized that shit was not regular, it fucked me up. So even now, like, sometimes I gotta, like, really hone in on my mental health because things bother me way more than it bothers the average person. Like, and I mean things that happen to us, things that affect us directly, bothers me way more than the average person. You know what I mean? Like, that shit tears me up. So I have to, like, always go back, get my mind right, meditate, get on social media. A lot of times I post and I get the fuck off because I can't take all the bullshit on here, bro. I cannot take it.
And it's because you know more now.
Yo, bro, I can't indulge in this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
I don't want to be super serious all the time on everything. I want to joke, I want to laugh, but certain things to me, it's like I just can't get with it, man. I can't get with black trauma. Like, I can't repost black trauma. I hate seeing that shit, and I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Sometimes people put it for whatever reason, there's a message behind it, whatever. But me personally, it's not healthy for us, bro.
It takes
really
us back
not.
another 40
It
years,
takes
bro.
another 40 years,
You know
bro,
what I
and then
mean?
you become desensitized to different things, and you rather live in a lot of black people that's in tune, they live in a bubble because they're good. You know what I mean? They're good, their family's good, so they stay in a bubble. And I get it because a lot of times, bro, it's hard to reach people. It's hard to talk to people. People be so far gone, they be lost. But again, I realize I gotta have patience because we have patience with other people, with other races. We deal with their shit. We quick to deal with other people's shit, then we deal with our own shit. I always saying it's not about being racist, none of that. But I'm not gonna give max energy to my own before I give max to anybody else. So I'll tolerate the bullshit. I'll tolerate disrespect to a certain extent because I know that at the end of the day, Not saying they don't know no better, but I know the root of the problem for us, and they might not even know the root. You know what I'm saying? But I take some time now to teach road rage. Yo, it's been 2 incidents where I had to like get barked on by somebody that looked just like me, but I let them bark, and after I was able to talk to them like, yo, first of all, I apologize, but bro, did I hit you? Did it get, so you ready to shoot me? You know, talking to them just regular, you ready, like, he have a gun or nothing. I'm like, yo, let's say it went there and we shot each other over what? Nobody got hit. It wasn't that deep. Yo, bro got the car and shook my hand. He was a young cat too. Like, yo, bro, you right. I'm glad you had this conversation with me. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, bro, keep that in the top of your head. Next time, it might be somebody balking on you, bro. Just take that shit. He might be having a bad day. He might be whatever. Shit don't be that deep, bro. Because a lot of times, shit the fan and we take max to each other. Now you done shot somebody, beat somebody up, or maybe just punched a dude, hit his head, he died. Now you in jail. Now you give the system exactly what they want, another body. They're making trillions of dollars off you now. You in the system. You know, over bugged out shit, bro, that we sit back in hindsight and be sick about after. But again, I understand the traumas that come into play when we be on defense all the time. Like you said, we always ready to go max. I was talking to Jig the other day, and I told him, I said, you know what's crazy, bro? The reason why I say put the energy in the right direction, and I gave him examples. Like, yo, bro, how many times you went downtown, right? And let's say to be downtown, we want to say, excuse me, or we move out the way for white folks. We cross the street. We pull up our pants. You go on a bird off. You pick your pants up, put your hat on, right? We do all that shit subconsciously.
Right.
All that shit subconsciously. I said, but how many times you been on the block, right? And there was another dude walking through the block, and we like, yeah, nigga, better cross the street. He better do that. You know what I'm saying? This, even if we didn't say that was our energy, why? He didn't even do nothing.
We got to switch
why
the energy.
Like that with him? But with white folks, bro, we move out the way for them. And it's not about, it's a reality thing, bro.
No,
no, it's a reality thing, bro. We move out the way, excuse me, sorry. Why? Why, excuse me, why, sorry? And that shit, I'm so passionate about that, bro, because that shit kills me because I was guilty of it too. And it's like, yo, we got to do better. And it's not about being angry or violent with them. It's about us understanding that we got to be better with each other.
Yeah, we kings too. Yeah, we kings
right.
too. But kings move not animalistic. Kings move with mindfulness, you know what I mean? And that's one thing, like I was saying, some things we do unconscious, but if you sit down, you stop and you really talk, you should be able to think. Like most of the time I talk, and some people tell me, yo, bro, I can see what you're saying, because I like look around while I'm thinking about what I'm saying, because I'm being mindful. I gotta find the right words to say, because sometimes it may come off, if I'm not thinking about what I'm saying, it may just fly right out.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So mindfulness is key to a degree, because you have to be thoughtful, and we don't stop to think. We don't stop to think in a second, in a minute, in an hour. You know how like to be on guard in your mind. Do you know how much work that takes, bro?
Yo, that's a lot of, bro. I know.
Yes, bro.
Yo, we programmed to be on go anyway. We programmed just to react. Like Meek said it right. Mama told me how to fight before she told me how to write. Bro, we always taught to react before processing anything.
Yes, sir.
Processing shit. First of all, processing shit takes time anyway. A lot of times being in the hood, you don't have time to make a decision. This shit gotta be split second. You know what I mean, bro? So again, like we programmed to be a certain way, so it's hard to deprogram somebody when there's years of being that way mixed with alcohol and weed. That shit is, I'm just being real. That shit really, yo, bro, like that shit is hard, bro. And I understand it. So I'm patient. Like I'm super patient. I get it, I understand it. But on the flip side, like I tell everybody, after a certain age, bro, I'm talking about to my black man. After a certain age, it's called willful ignorance. You're choosing to willingly remain ignorant to shit because information is out there, bro. Yeah, after a certain age, I can't make excuses for you no more, like for whatever, because information is out there. You just choose to indulge in other bullshit.
Yeah, this is the era of information. Like we got Google, we got everything at our own expense, and the computers and stuff is not smarter than us. You got to turn the computer on for it to work. So when we just give our life to social media and things like that, it's like you have to take time in your day where you just automatically turn that shit off and just walk around, see the land, speak to people, you know what I mean, and things like that. I knew you was gonna come in explosive, bro. I knew you was gonna come in explosive. Yo, bro, and this is why I needed you on this call, bro, because you are an amazing individual. You know what I mean? And
I appreciate it
takes time, bro, to even explain that. You gotta spoon feed them sometime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do.
Just people, period. People have to take time with themselves. They gotta have ease with themselves too. You know what I mean? Because everything ain't offensive neither.
Right.
A lot of things are just a little more complicated.
Right.
But if you take time, you'll understand it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. 100%.
Let me see. Let me get some questions. I know,
Absolutely.
you know, we from the same hood. Where did you grow up? And how was it on your side of town?
Alright, so I grew up, y'all lived all over the Bronx, man. That's one thing about me. I'm very well rounded because I lived everywhere, bro. Like, I like to equate my story to like the Jeffersons, you know, like you're moving on that type of shit, because that's literally what happened. I see my pops in particular, so I'll get into it. Why not? Alright, so I grew up in like Marble. Well, no. So real talk, my mom's is from Marble Hill. My dad is from the Trinity South Bronx, so all the objectives at Jackson, Cortland, Mott Haven, like that. So it was two, you know what I mean, two different sides. Actually, mom's from Brooklyn, but then she moved to Marble Hill. So, make a long story short, my earliest memories of growing up was between going to Jackson and Vietnam over there on 156. Like my mom wanted to move to Vietnam, and my grandmother was still living over there. My father's mother living in Jackson. I would be in that area a lot. And then my mom's mom lived on Townsend, and that's where we really stayed at. Like we was always in town. We basically lived there. Like mom's was in the streets. She was hustling. You know what I'm saying? My pops was working. My pops was working and shit. Mom's was a hustler. Dad was a single dad, so you know he was working, trying to get shit together. So we spent a lot of time at my grandmother's, and basically just lived there for the most part. So I was Townsend for forever, honestly, for a long time. Even when my pops, you know what I mean, moved. So from Townsend, I was always there, but my dad moved from Jackson projects to Undercliff, which is not too far from Townsend and everything. But we moved from the projects basically to a building that was like a co-op. We had terrace. It was clean, you know, middle-class working people. But again, right, I would always walk up the steps, go down the hill, right back to the hood. Like, I ain't stay over there because it was a hop. I could walk. It was a 10-minute walk. So I would leave from there. And Undercliff wasn't my part. I lived by the houses. If you know anything about the Bronx, Undercliff, that shit is Trinity 2 further up the cliff. But I was right there where the houses. I was the first building where the houses start. So it was quiet, never nothing going on right there. Like I said, clean building. That was the first building I ever felt like you get off the floor. From, you know what I'm saying? So from there, we moved to Co-op City. You know, Co-op City is another, you know, middle class, you know, a bunch of city workers, honestly. You know, had the terrace, had the, you know, if you know Co-op, you know Co-op. Gardens a little better, you know what I mean? And Co-op is crazy.
Better.
Yeah. I'm about to say Co-op got crazy too, like not for nothing. And that's a whole other story for another day, because that goes back to, real quick, not to get off topic, that should go back to psyche, because most people in Co-op, all my Co-op dudes know, we always talk about it. They choose to be Trinity, but they don't have no reason to be Trinity at all. I mean, like almost every one of we always talk about it. Parents had good jobs, fly, we talk about fly, like in my block towns, niggas was fly, but it was just different. Co-op, I mean, every sneaker that came out, niggas were getting 2 and 3 of different colors at one time. Like the sneaker game, I got that from Co-op. Like I know the hood, every time I joined a job, we would get that Jordan. And Co-op was different. They was getting every color one time. Like it was different. So I had to say, like, yo, y'all choosing to shoot. Why y'all? And again, you know what I realized? It was music. Yo, and it's not even, it was really, bro.
Yo, bro,
really
you just said you was
music.
living in the good area and just was like, nigga, I'm going to the trenches.
Yeah,
I think you almost
right.
have to choose negativity growing up.
Right. And that's the point that I'm trying to break, bro. That's not crazy, yo, bro. That shit is sick when I think about it. And I'm like, damn, we really programmed a certain way. But I know that music has a lot to do with it, bro. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth, bro. I'm like, start listening to music. Like, nah, like, what? Fuck that. And then you start making music and you start talking shit and that. I can't remember all the situations that, not necessarily that I've been in, maybe my friends or whatever. I'm like, yo, where did it stem from? We talk about it, they don't even remember. They don't even remember what happened. But you can go back and listen to songs they made and they still don't remember, but they be like, damn, we was talking crazy for no reason. Don't even remember why the beef started. Like, really don't even remember because it's really nothing. It was really no money, no nothing, bro. And that's the part that's sad, right? It's not even involving money. And money shouldn't be the reason you kill somebody, but you'd be like, you know, you kind of understand.
Like that. Not saying we should even go that route. I get you.
Right, you know what I mean? We should go, but
worries, right?
Right. And I'm just like, man, shit is crazy. So anyway, back to what I was saying. From Co-op, my parents wanted me to get in the house upstate. So I was able to see the growth. Like, I see what my dad did. Like, he was definitely a good example. But even with him being a good example, I still had to, you know, choose my own way, go my own route, and I made a bunch of mistakes along the way. I left the crib. We moved to the state. I was like, I'm going back to the trenches, and that's exactly what I did. Like you said, I got to stay. I got back on the train, like, yep, not doing this. Took my ass right back down to Townsend, like, yo, bro, you know what I mean? So I've definitely learned. But anyway, So they moved, wound up going there. But I feel like just going through different things, man, living in different neighborhoods, I was able to learn a lot. I met a lot of different people. I feel like I could definitely say I'm well-rounded. I've seen both sides of things. I definitely hated upstate. It just wasn't my wave. I was young. I was 17, 18. I'm like, it's too slow. I don't got, it's crickets and it's quiet. Yo, I love that shit now. I love it. It's a peace of mind. You know what I mean, bro? It's a peace of mind, but being young, not understanding shit, that was what I wanted to do. And I didn't even know I would set myself up for failure, bro. Like, that move, going back, I went through so much after I left the house and tried to do things my way on my own. I made decisions that I didn't have to make, and I want to put myself in situations I ain't necessarily have to go through. But I'm glad I went through them because it made me who I am today. And if I didn't go through those things, I might have been, I might have been a square. And when I say square, I don't mean that. I mean, when I use the word square, referring to other black folks, I mean, like, they think they're better than people where they came from. And that's when I say square, I'm like, square, I mean, meaning black folks who maybe came from trenches or never really lived in trenches, and they just have this predisposed notion that those people are the problem with the culture type of shit. Right, what I mean? That's really not the case. So, I feel like if I didn't go through things I went through, I might have had that mentality like I'm better than, or I got out, they can get out. No. The numbers say that shit is not even, I hate that shit. When people say, well, so-and-so did it, bro, that's 1 out of a million. Literally, like, that's not good odds. What the fuck are you talking? Use that as an example? That's not a good example, bro. Like, I hate people, that's not a good example. Shit, I made it out, and I don't even use that as an example, because what? No, bro, that shit is not it. You know how hard that shit is?
Yeah, if you don't have family or have somebody to introduce you to that shit, it's kind of like a no way out thing. But bro, it's a lot of things like reading books where they say like you're not a tree.
You're not a tree. And this is the shit though, right? My mom's side, my great grandmother, Marble Hill, bro. We had that apartment in Marble Hill, 1D, 5481. Bro, we had that apartment for 77 years. Why? What the fuck do we have a project apartment for 77 years? Real talk. And now, like, that shit, that me be like, all right. Like, it's cool if we had it and we was rented out, subleased or whatever, or we used it for, like, if we coming back to this, we need somewhere to stay or whatever. But we legit have had this apartment. This shit's been passed down for generation to generation, and we've been paying this fucking nitro rent, even though it's not a lot. But the point is that you become comfortable. Yes. This shit becomes regular. That shit ain't regular. Why we still have this shit? Every time I go there, I be joking with my aunt, like, why we still got this shit? Why? 7 years later, we still got this shit. We should have had 2 houses by now. We still got a project apartment we passing around. And that's not just us, that's a bunch of us. Granted, I know people that got great jobs and still rather live in projects because it's cheap. You got your rent, and I get all that. Yeah. But my thing is this. If we had that apartment for 7 years, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a home by now or own a house. Because if you're paying dirt for rent, what are we doing with our money? And that's why I'm like, we doing shit all wrong. Passing down a fucking project apartment is not it. That shit is not it at all. We don't own that shit at all, and it's the fucking projects. Like,
bro, I seen somebody say people would die with perfect credit. Just going around saying, yo, look, I got this credit score, I got this credit score. But credit is used for you to get those loans and to get things from the banks, because the banks need to keep generate. That's how they generate money.
That's it.
So, we'll get the loan and then buy liabilities, you know what I mean, as opposed to assets and things like that, bro. It's like that comes from learning. Like I personally would have never learned any of that if I didn't put myself in the realm of learning. You feel me? So if we just walk around, yeah.
You made a conscious choice, but whatever your reason may be. And I mean, if it was your kids or just going through so much, I know. But it's just like you made the conscious, like, wait, this is enough. I had enough of this shit. This shit is whack. I'm tired of the same cycle of dumb shit. Not going nowhere.
Definitely do
it. Kids do it, right? Beautiful, beautiful family. And I love it. Great dad. I love you, Mugga. If I never tell you I love you, bro, I'm proud of you. I always
appreciate you, bro.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate you, bro, for real, man.
You've been leading the way, man. You've been leading the way. Go ahead.
Let's go, bro. What is your highest level of education?
College. I just finished, though. So what happened with me was the moment I stopped paying, I went to school. You already know I played sports. I wasn't paying for school. The moment I had to take out a loan, which I did, and this is around the same time I started getting enlightened, I'm like, oh, nah, I'm not paying for school. I'm not, because it was just too much. I'm like, all right, I had a decent job even when I was going to school. So just understanding, like, okay, the amount of money I was making times the amount of loans I was taking out, that shit was not for me. I necessarily did not. I like school. I'm not one of the people that didn't like school. I'm not even going to like, oh, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoy the social part. I enjoy learning because, again, I know how to learn. A lot of people don't know how to learn, so they don't jack school. It's boring to them. Things don't become boring because they don't interest you. It don't interest you because you don't know what the fuck is going on. That's just the reality of it for the most part. So for me, I actually enjoyed school. It was just like, I'm not paying for this shit. If I could go to school and not pay, sign me up. Why not? Because guess what? I'm going to take the shit I learned from school, and I'm always going to debate it. Like, I'm a debater. Like, you're not going to tell me the sky is blue. I know it's blue, but why? Who gave you the authority to call it blue? Like, why it can't be fucking black? Like, that's just me. And it's just, that's how you learn. We're taught not to question shit. And when you a kid and you black and you question shit, you disobedient, opposition to find the story, you got ADD, fuck all that. No, I'm not a sheep. You don't be mad because you don't have the answers. Just say you don't know. I've had arguing with teachers for years. I got the Catholic school. In religion class, kicked out every time. Why? I'm asking questions they don't know the answer to. Now I'm disrespectful. No. Just say you don't know. You're not God, bro. You don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never been that way. And my dad always tell me, like, not for nothing, bro. My brothers, you always been annoying. Like, you just always got to not go against the grain, but, like, you always question shit. I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to question shit. We're supposed to teach our kids to question things. Instead, we tell them to shut up and don't back talk. No, that's slave master shit. They don't want, the reason why they treated our ancestors that way is because they didn't want them to have knowledge. So all that don't talk back because I said so.
You treating them the same way the slave
it's not conducive to a natural maturation process. When we tell our kids, stop asking questions, be quiet, mind your business. No, they're supposed to ask questions. They're supposed to be curious. Because when we do that, tell our kids what they do. Go out and figure out on their own. You know how much shit I did because my dad, I said so. I won't even go extreme to like some street shit. I'll go something so simple that's important. 18, I'll open up a fucking banking account before college. I get there and try to give me a credit card. I was going to do it. My dad's like, nah, don't do that. Nah, I'm like, why, Dad? I said so, knucklehead. I never forget it. Nigga, what you think I did? Soon I went home. The next day I took the car. We ain't got a credit card. Fuck out of here. You ain't going to tell me why. Like, I'm getting one anyway. Fucked everything up. And I told him, being older, we had this conversation 2 weeks ago. I said, Dad, I gave him that example. He was buzzing like, damn, you're right. He said, to be honest, I really didn't know. Again, he couldn't say that he didn't know. I said so. You understand what I mean, bro? Yeah. So you led me to do something that you could have saved me in that situation. Even if you didn't know, you should have said, you know what, I don't know, but what I do know right now, the credit card is not good for you because you can accumulate debt. And this is what debt is. You know what I mean? That would at least give me a little bit to be, okay, I don't want that.
That'll give you direction to look into.
Right, bro. You understand? And shit like that be key for me. Like, and that's why I'm so big on now is just having, like, again, having these conversations with the youth, bro. My target audience is the kids because at a certain age, like, it's tough. Even, like, effective communication, right? Having that conversation when they babies, bro, when they in kindergarten, first, second grade. Because now, with a lot of these New York programs across the fucking nation, but like I said, I'm from New York, so I speak on New York, like, they have these programs like the Cure Violence program, and I appreciate everything they're trying to do because I understand it. But you know how hard it is to get a person that's carrying around a gun to put that gun down, especially if they already shot that shit? If they already shot that gun or they shot somebody, it's then impossible. They got to carry the gun from now on. They shot somebody or shot at somebody. There's no way they're putting that gun down comfortably. It's not going to happen unless you can provide safety and resources for that person. Everything they do for black folks is always reactive, bro. Where's the proactive shit at? It's always a reaction to something that's already been going on. By that time, the shit is too late. Let's get the kids when they babies so that way they're not picking up the guns. Let's talk about effective communication. Let's talk about, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, how to regulate and how to control your feelings and express them shits. That's the shit that's key. We don't have these type of programs after school. You know what I'm saying? These are shit that we need. It's a necessity from the basis. You know what I'm saying? You can make that shit fun.
They took the programs from us back on the block. They took them shit. The newer kids ain't even got them programs. And if it wasn't for you going out there to even give them turkeys and near every Halloween and near every, you know what I mean, Christmas, they probably wouldn't see that shit no more. You know what I mean?
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. And that's
so
just
you
my
play
way.
a major role, bro. That's for sure. You know what I mean?
And you know what, bro? That's just my way to get people in. There's so much more shit coming, but I'm like, you know what? I just took my blueprint from the Panthers, bro. You got to provide resources. You got to be a face. You got to be in the community. You got to just be an ear. You got to get people's ear. How you get people's ears? By providing resources, like, consistently. And it's not just food and shit. Like I said, every event I take information, phone number, email, and I'm constantly sending shit out throughout the year. I come across, like, black finance. I come across, it's this one black-owned financial literacy, not program, but she makes books and games and I am subscribed to it, so I get a lot of shit. Once I get those games and activities, I always send it to my email list, send it out, send a blast out. Any type of resources in the hood, they giving away food, the food pantry, they having this event, I'm sending out to the emails. You know what I mean? I'm constantly doing that. It's not, there's a lot of shit that's happening behind the scenes that I know I'm not posting all the time. I'm not just, because it's something that I'm doing just because I know it's important. You know what I mean?
It's a purpose behind it.
You know what I mean? Purpose behind all that shit, and I know it's nothing going to happen overnight. This is a lifetime for me. You know what I mean? This is a lifetime for me. It's not just for now. Like I said, me and shout out to Rel, SK, Rule, say we starting some shit. We really taking this to the level. Like I said, the Good Backs is great, but we starting to start programs and provide services to people in the community that's going to help them long term, not just, in the right now. And that's our goal, and keep that shit consistently flowing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just really what it is, bro. And it also, I want to get back to, like, in the community, I want to have it to where these stores, most people that live in our community, especially out here, bro, they don't live there, they don't reside there, so they're making their money, and they're not putting shit back in the community. I don't want to teach people how much power we have. We don't have to shop there. Like, and I know it's about us not being lazy. I know shit's convenient, but if I get to people's ear and teach them, make them understand that we have more power than we know, and we need to exercise it correctly, meaning these companies, and these, especially they got Chipotle now, a newer Foot Locker, they building some other shit in the old. All these companies that they come in, especially the bigger ones, even the small mom and pop shops, you got to hire from the hood, bro. You can't be in our hood making money and not hire from there. Granted, some people can't, whatever, ignorant, cool, but they need the opportunity first. If they fuck up, they fuck it up. But opportunities to be with people that live in the neighborhood first. Not only that, when I start doing these give backs, I'm running down. Just like that. On all these stores, Mike's Barbershop, everybody. Y'all have been doing this for 3 years now. They're going to have to contribute. Because if they don't, I'm going to tell them respectfully, I won't make sure nobody come here and get a haircut. Not everybody, you might still get it, but I'm going to have the core group of people, like, we're not fucking with you. You don't put nothing back in the community, but you take. And that's across the fucking world, bro. Across the United States. Most hoods, Chinese restaurants, Aki's from the store, the cleaners, the Asian-owned cleaners, they don't put shit back in the neighborhood, but they take. I'm tired of that shit too, bro. I'm tired of that as well.
A lot of this shit, even with, let's say you say ignorant, you know what I mean? A lot of this stuff is what is our self-talk.
Yep. Yeah.
A lot of these, if they was in environments where they can hear good affirmations,
right?
You know what I mean? Hear things that can switch their programming, because the programming is basically, I can't get this job, so fuck it.
Yep.
I don't want to work here, so fuck it. I can't read, so fuck it. I can't do this, so fuck it. And that's negative self-talk.
Always.
So when you're telling yourself negative things, guess what happens? You put yourself in a negative vibration.
Absolutely.
So what can a negative can only produce a negative.
Right.
A negative can't produce a positive.
Right.
So a lot of this stuff is negative self-talk. Like if they was at work, like let's say you at your job, right? And your job is playing E.T. the hip-hop preacher. E.T. is telling you can't outwork me.
Right.
You can't wake up. I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning to outbeat everybody. When you listening to things like that, that sparks a new thought. That sparks a new action.
Right.
You know what I mean? And those are things that are really key in our personal development. Because you can just go to a job and be like, all right, I got the job, they paying me a little bit of money. But what you listening to outside of that job, or listening to, you might get your phone break and look at Instagram again, it's not helping you. It's not putting a blockage on the way you processing these thoughts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you're walking down the block and somebody's smoking a crack pipe, you naturally get a negative reaction from that. Like, oh man, what is this guy doing? But if you don't have the proper tools to fight that thought or fight those actions that you may get from that, it's all bad. It's all sour. You know what I mean? Because you when you move forward, you're moving with those negative thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yo, positive affirmation is key, bro. My thing is, like, it's definitely key, but that shit is also followed up with what you, like you said, the shit you listening to, what you're doing, and a lot of times the shit we listen to, the music we listen to, we can't separate that shit, bro. So in the morning, the first thing you do, and like I said, I've been guilty of it before, you know what I mean, just knowing, being young and dumb, you wake up, you put on your, now it's the drill music, and you lighten a blunt, and then you just on timing now, like, Now you're on time, you're on edge. Our youth, I'm talking to youth in particular.
That's a fact.
Like, they can't separate this shit, bro. So now, let's say you're on your way to, let's say even if they got a job, when they work, they high, you know what I'm saying? I'm not judging, because, like, whatever, you drink whatever, you listen to the music, now you're on edge, somebody could step on your shoe, now it's go time. And a lot of that shit stem from the morning, what you're listening to, right? The intoxication, because a lot of them, I say all the time, it's just different. Everything is different. Everything is different. These kids, the shit is smoking them now. Like, yo, it's different, bro.
A lot of things are programmed, bro. The radio is programming, the TV is programming, and when you look at like Kanye right now, right? Perfect example. Kanye just took his music to a point where it doesn't even reach billboards anymore.
Right.
Like there's nobody that outworked the music system.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? The generational gap. He's now changing the whole generational structure with the way he's doing music.
I'm glad you mentioned Kanye. Let me tap on, like, Kanye, mental health, we all know is a real thing, and I think we all have that. Not just Kanye. We all suffer from that shit. Kanye, if y'all listen to him, bro, he's really he's being a sacrificial lamb, showing us, like, fuck the status quo, fuck what society says is normal, fuck all that. Like, that shit not, if society's norms is what's norm for black folks, then why are we so far behind? Us as a people. Why we keep following their norms? So his arrogance, and again, to a certain extent, I get all that, but I understand the bigger picture. So I don't judge him for certain shit that he say, or do for the most part. Like, it's whatever. Like, I don't always agree with everything, but the bigger message behind shit that he does and says, I understand it. I comprehend it. Most people can't. And social media, society could always flip shit. He knows that. He gives them the clickbait to flip, and then he uses that as an example, like, you see? Like, we just so programmed a certain way that right away, oh, Kanye, oh, my God. I'm like, yo, sit back and look and think about what he's doing. It took the documentary to come out for people to be like, oh, nah, I get it. I'm like, yo, y'all shit, you know, and I get it. I'm not judging. I'm the same way. But if you listen sometimes, for example, I'm like, I get that he's an asshole. He says asshole things. Like, even with the slavery shit, it was a choice. It's the same thing, like I said earlier, willful ignorance. After a certain point, you choose to remain. Because it's a choice, bro. You could have rebelled and died, or you could have stayed in slavery. Especially once you understood it, at a certain point, so they chose to remain in slavery and bondage out of fear.
Right.
Everything that we do is either fear or faith based, and people need to understand that and admit it. Number one, need to admit it. That's number one, and then understand it. It's based off of fear or faith. Same thing people that go to church. I'm not knocking them, but I ask them all the time. I get them all the time. They be laughing. I'm not judging you. Why you go to church? Give me a whole bunch of bullshit. I said no. The reason you go to church is out of fear or faith. Faith to get into heaven, fear going to hell. That's the answer.
Bro, listen,
that's the answer, bro. That's just the answer.
When you pray, when somebody prays, right? And I don't know if everybody do that, but at the same time, there's 700 gods. I don't care. That's the mix-up. The mix-up is the fact that there's 700 gods. But there's only one way of deity.
Yep.
One way of deity is praying to the universe, right?
Yep.
We all have a soul. One way of doing it is praying to the universe. Now, when you pray, are you doing it out of fear? Or are you having faith? Right? Look, a prayer without faith is dead. It don't even work.
You missed one thing.
Praying with fear
and action, bro. You're 100% right. Action.
Yes.
Niggas will pray out of faith, and then this thing is going to happen. Like, no. That's why I'm of the belief, and it's not just being like, you know, I'm spiritual. I'm a spiritual person. I don't believe in any one entity. But if I had to go with something, it would be specifically the teachings of the 5%ers. Like, not even saying a black man is God. I have the idea that I am God. Because if they say, like, you made in his image, then I'm going to live righteously. I'm not saying that I'm him per se. I'm going to live like him. I'm going to do shit. I'm going to live righteous. I'm going to try my best to have righteous thoughts. Because the way it's taught, right, you have free will. It's expected that you're going to sin. It's expected all these other things, right? But if you constantly go with the idea like, I'm gonna live righteous. I'm gonna be God-like. You think, let's just say it is what they say it is. You think when you get to heaven, God will be like, nah, you trying to be me? You not gonna get in? The fuck out of here. He gonna be like, yo, yes, my son, pull up. Like, I appreciate you taking on that shit on me on earth. Like, the way that religion has taught us, specifically the black folks and everybody, but it's a hindrance to us. The way that shit is taught, bro, it's a hindrance. The way it's taught, the way that we understand, the way we apply it, it's fucked up. There's no accountability in religion, bro. You can do whatever the fuck you want, say 10 Hail Marys, and go and do it again next week. Like, no accountability. Now, if you look at yourself as being God-like, you're less likely to do fuck shit all the time. That's just what it is. Because constantly, like, nah, I can't do that because that's not what he would do. You understand what I'm saying, bro? So for me, it's like, yo, I can heal the sick to some extent if I was a doctor. I could create certain miracles, so to speak. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like on a smallest of levels, like there's certain shit you could do. I can heal myself. I can eat right. I can do certain things. Right. You have the ability to make God-like decisions and model God-like behaviors, but we choose not to. We choose to believe in some entity in the sky, and we can just be like, yo, my nigga, I'm sorry, and do it again tomorrow. Like, that's why every nigga in jail that find religion is like, that's their way out of like, okay, I did this, but God said, yo, everybody that's ever been, like, not everybody, but most people that's committed horrible, fucked up crimes, like, even my own family members that's been drug addicts or whatever, they go to NA, they always want to say some shit like, you know, I get it. You know, they use God, and I'm fine with it, but the way they use it is like they're not taking accountability because God forgave them already. Like, that's not, but I didn't think you did me fucked up. You ain't fucked up God's life. Fuck my life up. You know what I'm saying? You fucked my life up. Where's the accountability at, bro? Like, where's the accountability? You know, I'm just being real, bro. Like, I've heard, you know, I've been going to my meetings and God said I can only make changes for what I did now, and that's fine what God said, but what are you doing? Like, how are you showing me that you're making amends with me? You can't just keep bringing God up. Where's the accountability, bro? There's no accountability with that shit, and that's why I'm like, yo, if I'm going to teach you a certain way, I'm like, yo, you're God. Even kids, you're God now. I'm not saying you are a God, but you're God. He's in you.
Not that you are the God of gods.
Right, but you are God. Erykah Badu said it. If we're made in his image, then call us by his name, bro. Like, what? That's because if you read the Bible, I tell you all the time, if you read it and the way, it's contradictory if you don't apply it a certain way. Because he said, and then Erykah said it, like, yeah, it's in it. And we're made in his image. So she said, all right, we made his image, then yeah, we God. Then if we're made directly in his image, then we are him. So we can be him. We can be righteous, like I said, have righteous thoughts, righteous behaviors, but we choose not to because the way that's applied, the way that's taught us and applied, passed down from slavery, it's not, you know what I'm saying, bro? Again, think about it. During slavery time, you was praying to God, right? Whether out of fear or faith, I could say it was both, but it was never no action. The action came, and they don't talk about it. It was a lot of action, actually. It was. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and they talk about Nat Turner, but it was way more rebellious than that. Way more. And it was like, that was really your only
look at the ones that acted. Look at the ones that acted.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
The choice.
And what they did, which took to great accomplishments. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of them that, you know, a lot of us that didn't act, or, you know what I mean, and just fell to fear, bro.
Exactly. My thing is, the ones that didn't, you know what
fear did? It kept people bondage, bro.
Kept to this day, and that fear is passed down. Like I said, that's one of the traumas, semen in the egg, bro. And that fear is instilled in us, bro. That shit is instilled in us to this day. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's tough, Mo. It's tough, bro. And I could talk about, you already know, like you said, I could talk about a lot of shit.
Yo, bro, we're going to have to get you on a part 2, bro. We're going to for sure have to get you on a part 2, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
But what I was going to say,
get back to the question.
When you think of things like, because you said Kanye and you said you don't shoot the messenger, right?
Right.
Now, Trump said something, right? He said, if you're going to think anyway, you might as well think big.
Right.
I'm not saying, listen, let's take everything off the table, right? Most people don't even like Trump. But they don't even know why they don't like him. Like, I don't see, most people don't even know why they don't like Trump just based off what he said on TV. I'm always gonna fuck with an overt, like I said, I'm always gonna fuck with, not my friend, I'm always gonna fuck with, and respect to a certain level, an overt racist than a covert racist. He's telling you what it is. And I don't necessarily think, like, he's a dickhead. He could be a lot of things, right? I personally think, I laughed at him. I laughed at him. He says a lot of funny shit, but I don't give him my energy to be hateful towards him. When he's showing me who he is, I appreciate it. I hate these motherfucking covert racism, these Democrats. Most of them are covert racists, y'all. Most of them are old. See, again, we don't understand politics. If you understand politics, you know a lot of old Southern Democrats are the most racist motherfuckers. They more racist than the Republicans, but we don't even understand this. We don't know no better. We don't know no better, bro. And that's why I say voter education. Fuck going out and voting. Voter education, black folks. Next time it's time to vote, all my posts are going to be about educating you on the candidates. And letting you understand how this shit really works. How does your vote work? Most people don't even know you have a voided vote. We could do it where all the black folks across the nation went to the polls and said, nah, we voided our vote. We don't like either candidate. What do you think was going to happen? People think that election, that shit wouldn't happen. It's way more of us than it is of them. That's a fact. We are not the minority. Black and brown folk come together like, yeah, we don't like, it's called a voided vote. It's another name for it, but basically you just don't like the two main candidates that's on the ballot, and we not jacking it. Fuck them. Like,
You can feel your own hand, man. I did that shit a few times. Trinier Brown. Like, this is facts. Like, these are facts. So, again, I'm not voting because it's a bunch of pressure from outside celebrities and all this other shit about vote. Where's the voter education? None of them ever educate. Nobody on vote. They just tell you to go vote. Oh, your life depends on it.
Yeah, go vote. For what?
And guess what? Saying, see, bro, look at the divisive words. Your life depends on it. That's scary shit. So now it's fear-based. Trump, they use Trump fear-based.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all they did.
Bro, a lot of shit. That's why when you meditate and you realize, like, I'm here. I'm here right now. When you meditate, you don't even, your eyes are closed. You're not looking at nothing. You it's best to meditate even in a quiet place.
Absolutely.
You feel me? And when you meditate, you kind of just like, I'm here. I'm not there. I'm not there. I don't have 1,000 voices in my head. I don't have 1,000,000 voices in my head. I'm just here. And when you think about things like that, it's like you're not listening to things that can just pull you this way, anything that can pull you this way. You actually can create from a meditation standpoint.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And they'll come from a clearer headspace and more of an unbiased opinion when you meditate. And a lot of times, bro, that's why I'm like, just live in America, bro. Like I said, if you think you're free, you dumb. Because all the choices that we make, not everybody, but the majority of us, the choices that we make is presented off the options they give us. So you're not even really fully making your own choice the way most people think they are. Mm-hmm. Hence, like, even the voting. Look, like, most people just Democrat, Republican. It is way more candidates running every year for every type of political position than just those two parties. You know what I mean? So, again, and like I said, that's just on a political scale. But just in general, like, freedom to me is and even is limited, even if you're making money, but freedom to me is moving the way Kanye moves. And it's not, like I said, I'm not saying everything he does is right. But even I love Kanye. Like, Kyrie, too. Like, freedom is making choices where you have the most control possible of the outcome of the choice that you made, not out of the shit that they gave you pick from. You understand?
Right. Yes, sir. And
that's why I need people to understand, like, yo, nah, you that was the option they gave you. You just pick. Like, when you make the choices and stand on the shit and deal with everything that comes with it, no one is gonna come with it. That's freedom. Me, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I know. Like, when I get up, I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me because I don't allow people to have control over me to a certain extent, right? But again, being employed, bro. Like, that's why even when I was a caseworker, I'm like, I realized, like, yo, bro, you don't have. Once I realized in myself, like, nah. Like, I'll figure it out. Again, a lot of us stay in fucked situations because out of fear. I'm lucky. All I have to worry about is myself. I don't have a family. I don't have kids. So I have a family. I don't have kids. But I understand why sometimes people just got to bite the bullet and take the bullshit, but you really don't. It's ways around everything, right? And again, it's harder to make decisions when it's harder to make decisions when you got mouths to feed. So I get it. But for me in particular, and people that's like me, we have to exercise our power a little more. What? I know my work. I don't gotta do this shit. Like, I'll figure it out. Like, I'll figure out how to pay these bills, but I'm not giving my time to people that don't appreciate it. Like I said, for me, I'm big on not sustaining and generating other people's wealth without building my own. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. I could live check to check the rest of my life, and I'm still building this man's company's wealth or this system. If I'm working for the city, that's the system and its policies, the ACS. I'm still sustaining their policies and their procedures and everything, which is fueled in racism. This shit is not conducive to our youth being positive people. 90% of people in jail committing crimes, and all of them came through the foster care system. That's a fucking fact, bro. 90% of kids having kids, foster care. So you have a kid, a 14-year-old, 15, 16, 17 in foster care. They have a kid in foster care. That kid is in foster care. I got tired of that shit.
They recreate the cycle, though. But they call that hell on earth, bro.
Yo, it is, bro. It is. And
I be told it's like you have to switch your thought patterns. You have to switch your thought patterns. That's why things like I was saying, if you are going to think anyway, you might as well think big. And we can take Trump out the equation and just look at the words that said there.
Yep.
The words that said there means your mind is going to think anyway. It's going to do it, whether you try to or not. Why won't you just think big? You know what I mean? Why won't you think that you can do things that you feel you can't? You know what I mean?
They never seen it, bro. You know what I mean? They never seen it. They never had a real life role model in their face. And like I said, what we see is the dudes on TV rapping and playing a sport, bro. And that's just, you know what I mean? That's why, for me, I think it's important that we get more I'm big on, like I said, ownership. But besides ownership, we need people in fields we need people to get into certain fields that, first of all, black folks mathematically, we're geniuses, right? And I'm terrible at math. And that's just because when I was younger, again, I wasn't a great comprehender of anything. Like being older now, I'm better, but we're great with numbers. Forget about math. We're just super great with numbers. And a lot of times, they know that we are. We didn't build on having that. That's like something that's naturally within us, numbers. Like even, you already know, that's why most people, like a lot of us are great hustlers. Like most people go to jail because someone told them anyway, right? The hustlers, but they're good with numbers. They're good with shit like that without even ever going to school. You know what I mean? Like that's just what we're good at. So I'm just using that as an example. So again, why not take that and apply it to stocks, right? Learning, because that's all it is numbers. If you're good with numbers and you're good with equations, you're good with shit like that, why not get into something like that or get into crypto now, right? We rather
Wall
not.
Street Trap where you see 19 keys.
Right. Right, and 90 yo, what? It's a bunch of them that was hustlers that was great with numbers, and now they like, nah, I could do this and apply it this way. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't want to do it because it's a longer slow grind, and the long one is sustainable, and it's gonna last you way longer than that quick dollar. I don't understand. I tell people all the time, the biggest hustlers, the biggest drug dealers in the world, they selling drugs and all that for the government because when they go to jail, the government take all that shit and fund the police department with it. So all you did was help the police kill more black people. So y'all know. That's a fucking
Snowfall. You watch Snowfall, and Snowfall's right in our face. It shows us that niggas is dead taking their money.
That's it, bro.
The only time they feed the hood is with a cookout or something, but they hurting the hood by giving the crack to the hood. You know what I mean? And they're getting funded by the government.
Government. And it's funding, but it's like they lending you the government supplier, nigga. Like I'm saying, so they supplying you flipping and giving it right back to them because they once they, like I said, bro, at the end of the day, even if you it's very few niggas that's what's successful drug dealers. Like the government knows what's going on. I always say they let you rock until they want you. When they come and get you, either gotta snitch or work for them, or they come in and get you. When they come in and they taking all your shit, thank you for that. We gonna buy new police cruisers. We gonna start a new narc unit. We gonna run a niggas' cribs, kicking niggas' doors, shoot more black folks with the money that you made killing black folks. And
we gonna buy more supplies for the shit that we want to do. Yeah,
that's it. You know what I mean?
No other way around it. But that's why when we push here, bro, read, remember, repeat. What you push, it was perfect that we had to collab because
right, absolutely.
At some point, we gotta wake up the culture. You know what I mean? It's a cultural thing. You know what I mean? And it's not just for blacks. It's not just for Dominicans. It's not just for you know what I mean. But we know who needs it, you know what I mean? Absolutely. And that's because we come from it, and we know that we weren't taught those things. So for us not to be taught those things, that kid walking down the block, he don't know nothing about life right now, you know what I mean? He don't know that just maybe reading a book can calm him down, you know what I mean? He can gain new thoughts by reading a book.
We gotta exercise our minds, our brains, some muscle. Some muscle, baby. Like we gotta exercise that shit. And with muscles, whether you go into the gym, right, you gotta work them. You gotta work to get the muscle big, and to sustain, you gotta supply it with supplements, right? Healthy shit, natural shit, whatever. Even taking protein, whatever. The brain is the same way. You gotta exercise it. You gotta read, remember, repeat. That's why I love read. Remember, you have to do that shit constantly, often, because if you just put in toxins in your brain, what happens with the muscle? You get atrophy, bro. The shit shrivels up to nothing, and then you just a dummy. Like, that's really what it is. You just a dummy. You a sheep. So anything somebody give you, you just gonna run with this shit. And that's what happens. So if all you doing is not exercising your brain, all you doing is, like I said, taking in toxins all the time,
drinking,
drinking, listening to music, you become
over-drinking, over-smoking.
Right, that's the perfect word. Over-drinking, over-smoking, you become a fucking zombie to the point where, like, you ever, like, you know how back in the day when they say, like, the Illuminati shit, they used to play music backwards, and it's, like, that's what you hear. Constant music and dumb, that's all you're going to hear. Because all you do is listen to music, and that's the reality, because it's not even knocking niggas, but we all did it. Well, we just lucky enough to get in tune faster than not, and we still listen to the shit, but guess what? We can separate it. We're not like, oh, yeah, I'm about to go catch a body, nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's our mind. Yeah. Exactly, bro. Yeah. Exactly. So that's just really what it is, man. You gotta understand your brain is a fucking muscle. It's a muscle. You gotta exercise it.
Yo, bro, we I want to do the 5 for 5, right? Because we definitely,
yes,
matter of fact, before we do the 5 for 5, if a genie gave you 3 wishes, what would it be?
Oh man, 3 wishes? Man, listen. If a genie gave me 3 wishes, the first wish I would want to flip it. I want white folks to experience what we experience for like, that's number one. I want to flip it. And you know what's so crazy about that? If we flipped it, black folks being who we are, naturally people, we still wouldn't be as harsh to these dickheads. And I don't mean all of y'all, but just y'all ancestors. We wouldn't even be as harsh to them as they was to us. And I know that for a fact because it's who we are as people. We too fucking forgiving, just not with each other. But anyway, that's another story for another time. That's number one. Number two, I would change the way that we're taught. I would change, like, so I would have, like I said, certain schools are important, education is important, but I would, one, be able to control who's teaching the kids, what they're teaching the kids, and again, how the kids learning. Like, that's so important from an early age. Like I said, as far as the curriculum go early, learning your history from where you come from, how that looks, like I said, the financial literature early on in the game, communication. The first thing I would teach every young black man, black and brown girl, is how to properly and effectively communicate and regulate their feelings. That's like the second thing. And then you could build on other shit. And then for the third wish I have is that, again, all of us learn how to live off the land, meaning learning how to hike, learning the land, knowing how to swim, knowing how to properly shoot a gun, going out. Like, this shit is important. God forbid anything ever happen, like, you know, it's war. Like, we be able to survive, sustain. Because shit hit the fan, bro. We not equipped for that shit. All these white folks are, though. I mean, you know what I mean? They equipped for this shit. You should learn that shit. We are surrounded by 90% of water, and most of us can't swim. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit is important. Yeah. So I would want us to be more well-rounded. You know what I mean? I was lucky enough to learn
grow
these things.
Grow your own food.
Grow your own food.
Yes,
right.
Sir.
Well, shit like that. I mean, growing your own food. Just being able to sustain off the land without having any help. If we can do that, and everything else, bro.
Views from bars put that, so that was definitely solid.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Grow your own food, absolutely, bro. Because everything we get from supermarkets is bullshit. Let me build on that real quick. Okay. Important. It goes back to us being supermarkets and China. All that shit is convenient. For me personally, I don't buy bulk vegetables. None of that shit. Like, if I buy bulk, and it's gonna be water, certain shit. I mean, certain things I still I can't even front. I really don't buy bulk. So if I want to go get greens, I'm going to go to farmer's market that day, buy my greens, cook it that day, and eat it that day. Shit that with a shelf life is not 100% healthy for you. It's additives, preservatives, and a whole bunch of other shit that's not good for you. So again, technically, bulk shit is because so you can stretch your dollar. But health-wise, you shouldn't be buying shit like that. Particularly, like, for example, prepackaged fish. That's the worst shit in the world. Like, I don't buy it. I be telling them, don't buy that shit. If you want fish, I get it. It might stink and all. Go to the fucking fish market that day. Have them clean it and cut it. You can do it yourself, whatever. You cook it that day. You might save it for leftovers. You might even freeze it. You might not cook it. But buying pre-packaged fish, that's one of the worst things you can buy. People always call themselves, I'm cutting out meat and all that. But you go and buy bulk pre-packaged fish and all that shit. Tilapia is not even a real fish. They made that shit. Like, it's literally made up fish. Like, it's made. So, again, like I said, growing views from bars, that's dope, bro. I appreciate that. You're right. Growing your own food, man. And you can start from being that you can't grow it, going to farmers markets, getting your shit fresh that day, fish fresh that day. Even we laugh. I remember being a kid laughing at the little, what do you call those, VBO, whatever, where they cut the chicken, but it's a fresh fucking chicken. It's fresh. You know what I mean? They chop the head off, skin it there. It's a fresh chicken, though. You know that shit wasn't chilling. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I mean? But that's just if you into health that way. But all that shit coincide. You got to be healthy mentally. You're right, mentally, physically, spiritually, that shit all coincides. If you want to maximize your potential as an individual, all that shit coincide, bro. All of that shit, man. All that shit.
Yes, sir. Shit, just for the culture. Listen, we want you back on here, bro. We need a part 2.
Let me know, bro.
Possibly part 3, part 4. What we trying to build this, bro, is a place where people can get this knowledge, you know what I mean?
I'm
like
bro.
You said, we got to be the teachers now. We got to be the school now. You know, it's still a lot that we learning. But when you learning, you ain't going to just selfishly take all that for yourself, you know what I mean?
Exactly. A lot of us do that shit. And I realized, because even when I started on my journey, bro, it was a lot of shit that I was doing. And, it hit me like, nah. Everything that I do, because I try to do events, particularly in our hood, because everywhere that I live, this was where it was needed the most. But I did shit in Marble Hill, I did shit in Co-op. My thing is to get people that still reside there to keep it going. I'm going to do it, but I need you to keep it going. I want familiar faces there, and I want it to be a group thing. I'm not kind of coming to take over and be this person. It's not
That's
for clout. I want
my
whole idea.
How many people I tell, yo, let's read, let's do this. We need other readers, introduce other books.
Right.
The information is spread faster. But it
Absolutely,
seems
bro.
like everybody, it's certain things that they still got to catch up on. I believe it's going to get some people. I just believe they
It
got
is, bro.
to catch up. They got to see some things happen in order for them to jump on the scene. But
It's
even if not,
always,
we
always,
still
you know,
pushing, bro.
you got people want to see it and shit, but the reading shit, that's always gonna be a hard sell. But like I said, just being consistent. I feel like being consistent is one of the keys, and just, you know what I mean. It's just, if you're consistent, you constantly doing these interviews, constantly having these conversations. People gonna eventually tap. And my things, I get it. If we get one person today to tap into, like, I'm about to read a book, I'm happy. That should be
I'm
my thing.
happy.
You know what I mean, bro?
I had so many people tell me, yo, bro, just because you put that out, I started tapping into some books, started building a library, and
Right.
bro, if there's a story in Think and Grow Rich, right? Where
Right.
there was a lady, and she was, ever since she was younger, this white lady, she was in class with the white girl. It wasn't like they could even, it was separations and that shit. You know what I mean? You know how it
Right.
goes, segregation,
Right. Right.
slavery and shit. And the white girl, she went to go touch the white girl book, and the white girl said, "Don't you ever touch my book."
Right.
She said when she realized that, she based her life on reading. Now, when she based her life on reading, she went to the Queen of England and all that. And like the Queen of England was like, you know what? I want you to sit next to me.
Right.
I like you as a person.
Right.
Because of what you give off. What you give
Right.
off, the thoughts, everything that you do. I like you as a person. Like, we can even change real crazy situations, bro, if we knew how to communicate, if we knew how to be positive, you know what I mean? Things
Absolutely.
like that. And bro, it's just crazy how you can base your life on just like literature, and it will take you to a whole nother level. Jim Rohn said, read two books a week. He said that's 1,000 books in a year, something. He said, no, something like that. He said, do you know what that will do for you in a year? Do you know the
People don't
magnitude of
realize,
what that will
bro.
do for you?
You know what's so crazy? The magnitude, because just reading alone, right? Now you can have conversation with people. Yo, bro, I'm always in the gym. I have so many conversations about so many different topics because I know the topics. Even if I don't know it in depth, I can talk about it, I can touch on it. And now, like, I met a dude, an agent. I don't know if he's an agent, but he's in the sports world. He had clients like Odell, all that other shit. We was chopping it up. You know what I mean? He gave me a pass to this, like, the gym that the Giants go to, and then he gave me some shit to some cookout that they're gonna have in July. Like, that's just, and I don't even care about the cookout, but guess what? Connections, right? Relationships, connections. Everything in life is not always money.
Networking,
Life
resources.
is networking and resources, but more importantly, is favors. White folks give out money for favors. They don't want the money back. Favors are key, especially in the upper echelon, because the money they have is fuck that little million, nigga. You owe me. Like, you don't understand that. So favors are what make shit go when you get to that point of, you know what I mean, as far as when it comes to like you said, networking, money, like making real power moves is having people, or having a relationship with people where you can have favors or exchange favors. That shit is
But I'd
key.
rather community than money, bro.
Absolutely. So that's why I'd rather leverage that. Saying what you're saying, I'd rather leverage, and that's what everything that I do. So people be like, yo, even before I was selling shit, whatever, I would always repost people's shit, everything. I remember this one dude, my son Lefty, shout out Lefty. I know he's not watching, but Lefty was like, yo, bro, why you doing this shit for? What you want? I'm like, I don't want nothing. I said, but just know I'm gonna need a paper one day. It's not gonna be nothing monetary. I might need you just to pull up. I might need you to donate some shit to somebody, some clothing, and be nice. He says the clothing line. I may just need you to do whatever. Like, I mean, but not only that, the favor that I am is like, me helping you is making me feel good. That's why I'm doing it. So even when I do, like, bro, you know how many times, like, I could promote my shit and then have somebody else's shit in my promotion. So I promote my beard kit, but I had BJ's, Rue's sister, I had her Noah B care products on the table, like, yeah, because I was going to do facials. I was promote my beard product, like, listen, I'm going to do my beard product, and I'm also going to do facials. But my facial, I'm going to use Noah B products. That's what I'm doing in the back. I might have a flyer hanging up on the wall of, Ghetto Gas Show, they sell appliances. That's just what I'm doing. So while I'm doing, I'm advertising everybody's shit.
You are not wrong for that. you are not. Don't look at people that think small like that. Like, oh, you trying to come up off me? No, this is the way it works. It works by us helping each other.
Yep.
That's the only way it works.
Only way it works, bro. And it's like, and it has to be for free. Everything don't come at a cost right now. We have to help each other, bro. We have to right now because ain't nobody helping us. And we always trying to go and shit for Dolly, and it's not. You can start off for Dolly, but if you really want to expand, the way you're trying to expand is always going. It's going to take a team. After a certain point, you could break off. Real quick. Every other coach that comes here, and I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to just talk about Mexicans, not even a relationship. They'll come in 40 deep, live in one apartment, not a house. They live in an apartment, right? They'll work 20 jobs. They work 20 jobs. There's 20 of them. They're not moving out that home until all of them can afford their own crib. Then they all go in and may get a truck and start their own business. Now they all working, but they're not moving out that apartment until they all can move out that apartment. Once they all move out and start their business, that's how the generational wealth starts. And every other coach does that when they come over here. You know what I mean, bro? It's a fact. That's how they do it. It's never just one of them. Jewish people do it. White folks, they all do it that way. Us, we trying to go in for Dolly all the time. And granted, I understand the other side. You know, everybody not righteous. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know, especially us, we do a lot of sneak creep shit. And like I said, I understand the psyche behind it. But again, it's about making people comfortable, number one. Developing trust.
Bro, I no longer live the same life that I used to, bro.
Yeah.
You have to take responsibility and accountability to that. We can't live that life that we did before, because then even joking with my friends on, oh, this person may look a little funny. Oh, this person ain't got swag like us. Oh, look at this guy's kicks. Bro, none of that amounts to a man, bro. You know what I mean? And none of that amounts to this. So
none of it.
At any point in my life, I just do not deal with the same things that I used to, bro. You know what I mean? And we have to stand on that. You know what I mean? Especially as a person, for yourself, for the universe. Because when you cap to the universe is only going to give you what you give back.
Every time. No, that's a fact. Every time. So you putting out bullshit, that's what's going to come right back to you. And people don't understand that. And that's why I feel bad. I always feel bad when I see somebody, all these new drill rappers from the Bronx, and they go, my little homie, I probably done coached them or coached against them. Most of them started out as ball players. This is a fact, and this has been going on. But all these young, I'm not even going to say names, but I know all of them. I worked in the Boys and Girls because I was director there. While I was doing foster care, I was director there too. All on 174th and Ho. Y'all read all of it, and then that, they think I'm like, bro, I ain't talking shit. All of them was ball players, man. I ain't going to say y'all names, but I still love y'all. Yeah, I mean, I wish y'all stopped doing this dumb shit, but all the stuff as ball players. And that world, the basketball world, is another thing where a lot of kids get pushed out because, the thing is, if you're not getting the highlight videos, if you're not protected to go play Division I basketball, you wind up just saying, fuck it. Because in their minds, if I'm not going D1, I'm not successful. That's why I started with the basketball shit, lab work, lifestyle advancements through books and ball. Like, yo, bro, to go to school for free. Use it as a tool. It don't matter if it's Division I or not. Fuck that. Go to school for free, the one up, learn this shit, get out of there, and, give back. Like, that's my thing. Like, maximize using the ball. If you're concerned with going D1 and you think you're not going to Division I, fuck that. I'm not doing this no more. I'm going to go rap now. You know why? Because they playing ball for the wrong reasons, for clout. What comes with playing ball? The sneakers, the Nike, the gear, the girl. You know what I'm saying? So, again, what's the other way I can do this? I'm going to go rap. And then now the drill thing is this. So these little niggas, bro, they didn't play ball with each other, bro. They was on the same team. They clapping at each other. The shit, bro, I had a conversation with somebody like, yo, bro, y'all dead ass? What y'all arguing about? Nah, bro, chill. They'll be older now. Not even on no crazy shit. They didn't respect me, but nah, bro, you don't understand. Over words, y'all was bros. This shit is about nothing. You know what I mean, bro? And shit like that kills me. And I'm like, yo, we laugh and we joke. I hear, younger whatever talk about it. And this is like, why is it even a conversation? So when I find myself and shit like that, I walk away. I ain't judging niggas. You know what I mean? I get it, but I don't want to have that conversation. I don't want to entertain that shit. I'm off this because it's not funny to me. The raps, lyrics might be cool. They might sound good, but I know what's coming after that.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother's crying over fuck shit. Over some shit. Like I said, I got pictures of y'all together on my page, and y'all over here shooting each other. You know what I'm saying? So, again, bro, that shit is not it, man. It's really not it. And, so, again, man, that shit is, I want to change the narrative. And it's hard, bro. It's hard. You can't save the world, but I know that's why I said.
It's not hard, bro. We gotta come together. That's what it is. We gotta come together more. And if we can find the right vehicle, we need our own school, like. And social media is giving that. Social media is giving that to us, bro.
It is, bro. And what you said, though, bro. I wish that's another. If I could have my own school, Give me one school and I can go from there, bro. I need my own school, man. They probably won't let my shit rock because shit I'm teaching, they gonna be like, oh, nah, he gotta. But
I'm
we
gonna tell
need
you what
our
we
own
need, bro.
school,
We need
bro.
community, which
Yep.
is we need a safe place for us to meet up at. We need community. We need curriculums.
Yep. Community curriculum. Yep.
And we need to understand the difference of self-talk, because everything is what you tell yourself. Even if you can't
Everything.
make the jump shot, it's because you're not telling yourself, I can make this jump shot. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's because you're not telling yourself, I'm worthy.
I'm worthy. That's the thing, bro. I'm worthy. Like that shit is so, and then really, you can say it, but you gotta feel it and understand it. You know what I'm saying? Self-love. Like I said, it's funny because I hate these conversations, especially with, you know, black women, black men. That's another topic we gotta touch on. Like, you know what I mean? We so divided in this shit, but it's hard. Like, you know, black women gotta understand the psyche behind a black man, and vice versa. But I can only speak for black men because I'm a black man. But
yeah, that's a fact.
most black men don't even love themselves. They don't know what love is, bro. And it's not an excuse. It's the reality. Like I said, they can't regulate no feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So them the feeling they get. That's why niggas, and I mean black. I'm stop saying, but that's why black always want to tell you they love you when they're in a fucked situation, whether they're in jail or if they just came, right? It's the reality of shit, bro. Yeah. To them, that feeling equates to love, and that's really not, like, that's not what it is. So it's hard, bro. And most growing up in situations where you become a man at like 12, 10, you know what I'm saying? Like, you taking care, you don't know what the fuck. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. So again, like I said, that whole communication part, and learning how to, like, understand your feelings and then regulate them shits without medicine and pills and shit that they try to feed us. You know what I mean? Like,
you
learn to
see
connect
Pharmacy for Life. You see
bro.
Styles P.
I love Style. Shout out to Style Pharmacy for
And
Life.
he's
That's
not
another
even the
thing.
only person doing it. You can actually
Nobody.
go to, like, your own, you know what I mean, African store or something like that and get black seed oil, you know
all
what I
that
mean,
shit.
things like that.
All of it is there.
Tinctures, all that. You know what I mean? And it's different from taking all these pills and stuff, man. But bro,
that's a fact. Yeah.
We gonna go 5 for 5 with him just to end.
Yes, sir.
out,
Let's
right?
go 5 for 5. Yes, sir.
5 for 5 is usually like Wendy's. You know, you gonna get a 4 for 4 for Wendy's. So 5 for 5 is we gonna name 5 questions and you give us 5 answers, right?
Got
quick
you.
and easy.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying they quick and easy questions, so it won't be hard or nothing like that. Top 5 teams.
And what? Overall?
Overall.
I'm a New York guy. I'm New York everything. You can't be from New York and not. I'm sorry. Like, I have favorite players, but if you ask me my favorite players, I'm gonna tell you, like, I got a bunch, and it's usually gonna be kids that I know that's in the A or in college playing ball right now. You know, I love my boys. So I'm always gonna support and appreciate everything they're doing. But I'm from New York, man. I'm a New York guy, so it's always gonna be New York teams. That's just what it is. Like, lose, win. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how you could be from a state and then not rep that team. I could see it for, like, it was a thing where it's generational, like your great grandfather was from Florida, and now he, you know, and it's passed down type of shit. Now you live here, and then, oh nah, my team is Florida. Cool. But to live here and be from here, man, I'm questioning your loyalty, man. I'm questioning your loyalty if you're not a, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, that's just for me. Now, you don't gotta love them. You don't gotta love them, but you gotta be a fan, bro. Because guess what? When we win, every New York team, because, bro, you know how New York win, they pulling up to the parade, whether they're a fan or not. Don't do that. Go ahead, though.
That's fine. Okay. Top 5 sneakers.
Top 5 sneakers. I love everything, man. I love everything. But one of my favorite pair of kicks, no funny shit, is a pair of Pumas, but they got the 60th Olympics. They got the 60th Olympics. The 60th Olympics, they have. I'm mad. I'm drawing a blank. That shit is crazy, and I talk about them all the time. Tommy. I fucking forgot. This is terrible. I feel bad. Anyway, I have a pair of Pumas from the 60th Olympics edition when they wore the black gloves and they had their hands up. Yes. Like, that's one of my favorite pairs. I don't even wear them because I love them so much. I just look at them shits, but those are one of my favorite pair of sneakers. I like everything, bro. Honestly, I like everything. New Balance, Puma. I wear everything. I got over 75 pair of sneakers. It's all gonna be everything. I kind of moved away from Jordans because we did that already. So everything that I have is retro. Like I have threes. I have like 4 pair of threes. They all from 12 years ago. It's crispy. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But yeah, man. I just like comfortable sneakers, man. Everything. You know what? Air Max. I could just go with Air Max. You can't go wrong with a pair of Air Max. Different 9.5s. I got everything from I got everything from 90s to 9.8s, literally. So that's my thing. I can say Air Max.
Top 5 TV shows.
Top 5 TV shows. I don't even watch TV like that. So
Yo, that's good. Somebody that came on here spoke about things that they do watch, like Earn Your Leisure,
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that.
okay.
They put that out there, and that's a good thing too. Or you can go back to when you was younger. You know what I mean?
I
But go ahead.
watch a lot of documentaries, bro. I'm not even gonna hold you. I watch a lot of That's just my thing. Like Amazon Prime got so fucking Netflix and all that shit. Amazon Prime, y'all. So many documentaries pertaining to this black folks. Like it was some called Chicago, and they talk about Chicago and how they justified that shit and how the projects now, how they same thing they do all the time. They move you out. Like they pushed us off to to the swampland. I'm talking about Chicago, where it was just like they had like a lot of houses that was beat up and terrible land, and the white folks had the building. No, the white folks had the white folks had where Cabrini Green and all that was at. Fast 4 years later, they had all the black folks at Cabrini Green and all that other shit, and they wound up tearing the projects down, justifying that shit, making it because it was near prime real estate. You know what I'm saying? So they wound up kicking the black folks out, pushing them into houses, telling them like, yeah, we can give you a house, but the house is on terrible land, terrible plots, shit like that, bro. I'm just into documentaries, learning the history, learning about America, the real America, learning about capitalism, learning about all that shit. And like I said, the documentaries on Amazon Prime, in particular, I watch a lot of that. I'll watch a lot of sports documentaries, just learning different stories about different people. Yeah, shit like that, bro. But I'm not big onto like regular TV. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't really watch that shit. I'm not gonna front. I think I just watched. I caught up on Power.
That's a fact. 50 got
I
people
caught up
to
on
talk
Power.
about that one.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy? It wasn't even on. It was the day that I had free time. Like, you know, let me just binge this shit. I watched. It was cool. It was cool. I mean, I watched. It was cool. Nothing. You know what I mean? It's cool. Fucking the new Fresh Prince. I actually kind of like it for the most part. I mean, people saying they don't like it, but it's a little more realistic. I like the issues so far at hand. People don't like I said, people don't like how they cast the people, but that's the reality of today's world, right? So I wasn't really mad at it at all. Like, oh, I guess because Ashley is gay, but she's not even gay. She's just questioning who she is. It's just different things people didn't like, but I appreciate it. I like that they cast all of them were dark skinned. That was cool for me. It's little messages and shows that I'm looking at that most people probably not catching, but I appreciated that. You know what I mean? As far as that go. I think that's the only thing that I've watched on TV recently. Like I've watched that, but those two things I've watched. Oh, and in the Yeezy trilogy, you know, I watched that shit.
Shit, man. Top 5 sports.
Basketball, football. I like swimming. Not for nothing. So basketball, football, swimming, baseball is boring me. I don't watch that shit. What else?
Basketball, football.
Maybe not watching it. You know what? Because I don't be in that. So I watch a lot of high school and college. NBA is cool, but college and high school they playing for something, so they play harder. The game is. I enjoy that way better. So, but I'll use those sports. But as far as watching, I won't say watching. I'll use the next 3 or 2. I name 3. So the next 2 I'm gonna say I like doing. So I like the kayak. You know what I mean? I fuck with kayaking. You know what I mean? I haven't done it in a while, but small sailboat or canoeing. I like getting on the water, man. I'm a guy. I fuck with the water. Sometimes it can be a little scary, but again, the world is surrounded by 9% of water, so I'd rather conquer that now. Just in case anything ever happened, man, you know, I'll be able to give myself a fighting chance to survive and shit. And it's fun. It's a sense of freedom on the water. You know what I mean? You ain't going in the rough waters, and nobody going white water rafting, and I've done that too. It's actually not too bad, depending on what you're doing to that. But I like those things, bro. I'm kind of out of the norm. Oh, hiking. Y'all know I've been on my hiking shit. I OD. It's not a sport, it's an activity, but that too.
Let's go. Top 5 books.
Shit. Message to the Black Man, Black Power by Kwame Ture. The first book is by Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Of course, the autobiography of Malcolm X. Fucking The Peculiar Institution of Slavery. I forgot the author of that one, but that's key. I'm telling you, that book gonna have you really want to dive into capitalism, like and understanding how America really works. Black Labor, White Wealth. That whole trilogy is actually more than that. Dr. Cole Anderson's whole book packet, he pinned it. I'm telling y'all, it's a bunch. Black Labor, White Wealth, Part 1, Part 2. Hidden Secrets. Yo, it's mad. Like his shit is it. Like if you start with those, then you know you're gonna keep diving into shit. And then the American Revolution and all its writings. I got a book with all America's writings, the amendments, the Treaty of Versailles, all that shit that we don't even know that affects us to this day. And then last but not least, the fucking penal law. Every fucking person that lives where they live at should know the penal law for that state, city, or town. You fucking people that's I'm not even saying fuck people because all of us, man, everybody that's out there still getting to it, do what they do. There's no way you still out here doing illegal shit and not know the law.
You
Y'all
don't
gotta
know
get
the law. Yeah, that
what the
don't
fuck
make
is
no
wrong with you?
sense.
Like, it don't make no sense, bro.
Yeah.
Don't make no sense at all. But for me, learn the penal law. NYC penal law is accessible to you. You can get it. If not, I will send a link and Mugga can post that shit. But everybody should know that shit, bro. You should know the law, not just your basic Bill of Rights, which most people don't know that shit neither. Matter of fact, do I have some in this? No, I have some in my other car. I carry little fucking cards. Bill of Rights. I hand this out when I'm in the hood. Yo, here, these are Bill of Rights. Keep it with you. Bill of Rights, Bill of Rights, Bill of Rights, Bill of Rights. But
And
it's so
they
much
still
more
lose
than
that
that.
shit.
Absolutely, because they look at the car. You know what I mean? But again, that's why we always going to be the major parts of the system because again, we don't like to read. But if you go and continue to live a life of crime, and I'm not judging you, but at least be equipped to fight shit instead of because if you was equipped, you'll move better, you'll make better decisions. Shit, you might stop your life of crime way sooner, and then you won't be more likely to snitch. So again, like if you know the law, at least the basis of shit, you move a little differently. So I say those 5 books, man.
Yo, T, listen, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I actually learned more about you, bro, in this interview than us just being in the hood doing regular things, bro.
Right,
Not
bro.
saying that I ain't know, but now I got the end of you. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I think the people caught the end of you too, whether they just listening to it or some of the people that hopped on. The ones that's gonna rewatch this, they definitely gonna see how powerful your words was, bro. And yeah, just we gotta do this again, bro, for sure, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. And words
Listen,
ain't shit without action, y'all. Words ain't shit without action. That's why for me, I know I remember I started talking on Instagram right before COVID started, and they had the protests and shit. I'm like, nah, it's time, bro. Because I already was doing little things, but I'm like, nah. You gotta put truth to power, truth to words, action. Everything is action fucking Jackson. Like, you have to. And it's not about being negative at all. Like, I'm not promote negativity, none of that shit. I'm always gonna say, you can defend yourself and your family, your loved ones, but everything else, that shit is not it. All this poor crime, because that's what it is. It's poor crime. It don't matter where you from. White folks understand that too. If you poor, you with us. Whether you like it or not, you are grouped with us. Whether you like it or want to acknowledge it or not.
yeah,
If your ass is poor, that's what, like,
yeah, it's a money game, bro. It's a
the
money
money
game.
game,
It's a
bro.
status game, and that's the
Yes,
thing
yes.
too. It's like a lot of this stuff too is just to divide us, but it's heavy on one side,
Yep.
but bro, a lot of it is definitely to divide us, bro. But I
Always.
appreciate your time, bro. And I already
Appreciate
know,
you,
bro,
bro.
you can hit me for anything. Anything you want to build on, let's talk about it. And we could, see where we can go. You know what I mean? And
Yes, sir,
action, bro,
bro.
this guy's definitely an action guy. I seen him out there actually, you know what I mean? Just being there for the kids. And this is what he
You
does
too, though,
all the
bro.
time. You know what I mean? So,
Man, listen, I appreciate you. You was part of the first one, bro. Like, I don't know how you was part of. He was a major part of the first one. So let me not give you your flowers. The first event I ever did, Mugga was there, front and center with his clean cut. Righteous. And I ain't have to ask twice. Had the family out there, so you already know, bro. I appreciate you. I'm definitely gonna reach out to you. Whatever you need from me, I'm super busy, but I'm always gonna make time. Like, I always gonna make time. You know what I mean? I'm a man of my word. I hate to not keep my word, but the reality is shit happens sometime in life.
yeah,
Like
things
today,
do
we was
happen,
at
bro. But it got
4:30.
to be an ongoing respect and it got to be an ongoing gratitude. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yo, bro.
Absolutely.
Hold
Yes,
it
sir.
down,
Salute,
man.
man.
You already
Absolutely,
know.
bro. Love you, King.
Love you more, bro.
Tap in. All right, bro.
Go.